Investor, Forum for Tourism Investment in Africa. Investor, the Forum for Tourism Investment in Africa, is an area for the investment and promotion of tourism in the African continent, driven by three large institutions: Casa Africa, the World Tourism Organization, and FETOUR. It is held yearly in Madrid within the Spanish International Tourism Fair, which is one of the tourism industry's most important meetings in the world. In just 2 meetings, Investor has become the meeting place for private economic agents and government representatives from all over the world that share common goals to establish business and strategic partnerships and promote investments for economic, sustainable and constant development in the African continent, and to internationalize Spanish companies. In recent years, WTO data has reflected far greater tourism growth in Africa than the world average. This data is reinforced with an optimistic forecast for the next few years despite the financial crisis. Investor supports this growth by promoting an increase of Spanish investments in the African sector and encouraging their business network. With a flexible, direct format and without intermediaries, Investor helps to exchange tourism deals between African governments and companies and the Spanish public and private operators during a long day. Investor additionally offers African participants an international platform to schedule meetings directly with the most relevant international tour operators in the tourism sector who gather each year in Madrid. Investor is held over one day and is made up by 2 sessions which delve into topics such as financing and investment of tourism projects, promotion and representation of destinations in the Spanish issuing market, creating and improving hotels, ecotourism in national parks and protected areas, promoting cultural and wildlife tourism, technology transfer in hospitality and tourism, infrastructures and transport. During the morning session, Investor acts as a meeting place where Spanish and African political authorities unveil and discuss sectoral studies and success stories, whilst at the same time there is first contact between the participants. In the 2 meetings held so far, the presentations and talks were followed with great interest by more than 200 guests from the private and public sector of more than 30 different countries. In the second session, Investor becomes a practical business meeting through individual interviews between public institutions and businessmen to examine and specify investment opportunities. Investor's organization is in charge of preparing the agenda for the meetings, which is adapted to the needs of businesses that request appointments. The matchmaking is carried out according to the detailed projects and profiles sent by the Spanish and African companies. The first meeting, held in January 2010, had the region of West Africa as its protagonist, represented by ECOWAS, the Economic Community of West African States. The region invited to the following meeting was South Africa through SADC, Southern African Development Community, and RETOSA, the Regional Tourism Organization of South Africa. With the guarantee of success obtained by previous meetings, the third Investor meeting will take place in January 2012 and hopes to bring together countries from Eastern and Central Africa through the East African Community, EAC, and the Economic and Monetary Community of Central Africa, CEMAC. Opportunity for its tourism market to be presented and listened to, a loudspeaker to show its offers amongst Spanish investors and those from other countries in one of the most prestigious and influential fairs in the world. About 30 African countries have participated in each of the previous meetings through their ministries of tourism and high-level delegates from more than 70 companies from the continent. On each occasion, there have been more than 400 individual meetings set up with investors to discuss business options.
Todos hemos coincidido en que se consolida una iniciativa que tiene un objetivo fundamental y es aprovechar Fitur, el sector turístico, para el desarrollo de África.
Es un continente todavía que podría calificar un poco de virgen con la oportunidad que tienen de traer en el mercado un producto bastante original.
Creo que Investur, de la mano del Casa África, de la mano de la OMT y de la mano de IFEMA, está haciendo un trabajo fantástico.
We are hoping that many people, especially the Spaniards, will get to know the attractions we have.
Rafael es un empresario español que se fue a Senegal hace más de 20 años.
Hosting Investor under the Fitur framework helps to enhance the exposure of African markets. The 2011 edition of Fitur had more than 200,000 participants from 166 countries and regions, with more than 7,000 accredited journalists from 59 different countries. The momentum that Investor represents for African tourism increases with the communication campaigns that its organisers undertake. Public relations work with general and specialist press to make the investing public aware and increase the tourism sector's visibility of African countries in our country is undertaken by Casa Africa, WTO and Fitur. Each organiser feeds its respective online communication channels with contents to disseminate the sector's and forum's developments to the maximum. Investor 2012, an opportunity for Central and Eastern Africa.